Okay, so we're diving back into local politics today, redistricting, and specifically what's happening in your city.
Right.
And things just got really interesting.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, you see, there's this citizen submission
Okay.
called the Slater map, and it has really caught the attention of the city council.
The Slater map.
Yeah, and we got the clips from the meeting to prove it.
Wow. Citizen-drawn maps, they don't usually even make it to the council table,
Right.
let alone get the reaction that this one is getting.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to dive into today.
Okay.
The actual city council meeting,
Cool.
where they are reviewing proposed district maps, including the Slater map.
Wow.
So you'll hear it all unfold, but first, you've been following the redistricting process closely.
Right.
What were your initial thoughts on the proposed maps before the Slater map came out?
Well, so I think it's important for everyone to remember that redistricting, what it's trying to do is ensure that each district has roughly the same population, which can get really tricky as cities grow and change. So
Right.
you got to adjust boundaries and stuff, and that can impact, who represents you.
Right. So what about your district? Where do you see the biggest needs for change in your own district?
Well, my district has seen some of the fastest growth, so it's definitely due for some adjustments. Some areas feel overrepresented while others feel overlooked.
Interesting. Well, all right, let's actually jump into this meeting.
Okay.
In this first clip, a city official is addressing Mr. Slater directly.
Okay.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Let's hear it.
Okay? Audio clip plays. The first map that we have submitted by a member of the public was submitted by Don Slater. I wanted to personally apologize to Mr. Slater when we originally produced this map for the city, when we transferred the information from the online mapping tool to our software. We inadvertently missed 2 census blocks between districts 3 and 4. And so that was brought to our attention this morning, and we corrected that. I believe Mr. Slater has been notified of that. But I did want to personally apologize to him for that inadvertent error. This map has an overall deviation of just over 5%. Okay, so it sounds like maybe just a minor technical glitch.
Yeah.
But they're publicly acknowledging the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And they're apologizing to this citizen, Mr. Slater.
It is interesting, that they're being so transparent. That doesn't always happen with local government,
Right.
It could be that they're trying to afford bad publicity, but it still shows a certain level of accountability,
Yeah.
which I think is good. And to be fair, a 5% deviation,
Right.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
It means the population across those districts in this later map are pretty balanced.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who maybe aren't as familiar with all this jargon, that term deviation,
Right.
it basically is measuring how much the population of each district differs from
The ideal.
the ideal perfectly equal population.
Right.
So lower deviation is better.
Right. More balanced.
Yes, more balanced. Okay, but hold on.
Okay.
Things are about to get really interesting.
Uh-oh.
You've been following this so closely.
Yeah.
How do you think the council will react to a citizen submission?
I don't know. This is a real nail biter.
Plus, listen, audio clip plays. And I'm going to open it up now to the council to share directions, thoughts, or a motion to adopt one of the maps. Councilman Leemeyer, I would frankly just go on record and say that good job, Don Slater. Yeah, he's one of our resident, maybe 12 people that we get a lot of emails from, and usually poking at us and whatnot. But I thought he did a pretty darn good job, frankly. It's so logical. It's just up, down, square. Nice and cut simple. I don't know if it'll get a lot of support, but I thought it was, good job. And I agree with that. I even told them that. All right. Council member Sobet. Wait, did he just say what I think he said?
He did.
Good job, Don Slater.
I know.
He almost seemed surprised.
It's the tone, right? Like
Yeah.
he wasn't expecting a citizen, just a regular person, to come up with something so well done.
Yeah.
And he calls it logical and simple, which
Right.
in the world of redistricting, that is high praise.
Right. And, this praise may actually reflect a growing awareness of the flaws in the previous maps, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they were overly complex, ignored community boundaries, or were perceived as favoring certain groups.
Right.
It's hard to know, right, what happens behind those closed doors.
It really is, yeah.
But the fact that they're so impressed by this Slater map
Mm-hmm.
suggests that they're seeing something different, something better in this map.
Yeah, exactly. And, this isn't happening in a vacuum. There's a context of, citizen engagement or lack thereof in the city's history.
Right.
So this could signal a real shift in the power dynamic between the citizens and the government. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people actually being heard.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Here's where things get really interesting. Another council member jumps in with a very pointed question. Audio clip plays. So I can't help but notice that Mr. Slater's map seems to make the most logical sense. It follows streets. It's almost perfect crisscross. Is there any reason why we wouldn't do something like that? Looking at the, particularly on the east side of the freeway, so between council districts 4 and 3, I think it's really a choice of the council, whereas his version of it, which basically goes down Newport Road and then up Many to Many to Simpson, and then over Simpson it that way. And so, as you can see from the map here, but basically, the dividing line once again is Newport to Medi up to Simpson. I think that's a perfectly sound boundary, and I think that's completely reasonable and something that the council may want to consider.
Wow. Let's just take a moment to really consider what just happened. A council member is actually pushing for a citizen's map?
I know.
That's not something you hear every day.
No, this is huge.
He's not just praising it.
Right.
He's advocating for it. He's pointing out the specifics, how it follows streets, how it creates that crisscross pattern,
Yeah.
uses clear boundaries. I mean, these are all things that make it easy for residents to understand,
Yeah.
to relate to.
Okay, so you literally have just witnessed a real-life example of a citizen potentially shaping the political landscape of their city.
And that's the question, right? Does the Slater map, does it suggest a bigger trend
Yeah.
of citizens actually participating, getting involved in local government?
Yeah.
Or is this just a one-off,
Yeah.
a fluke?
Right.
And what does this mean for redistricting in the future? What could happen?
Right. And what does this mean for your city?
Exactly.
That's something we want you all to think about.
Yeah.
We really encourage you to explore these questions further, maybe even take a look at the redistricting process happening in your own community.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You might just find the next Slater map just waiting to be discovered.
You never know. It could be you.
Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll be back soon with more.
See ya.
Until next time. Okay, eights.